as it relates to Baidu, how does this AI chip help accelerate the adoption of its AI technology or capability?
So, Baidu has been working with Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, and all the other big chip manufacturers for a long time. But a lot of companies have realized, like you mentioned, some of those other names, that to do AI-specific workloads really requires new types of silicon. We've seen Intel develop the Nirvana technology, or they bought Nirvana technology, and Baidu is doing the same thing. So Baidu has Paddle. That's their AI framework. That's the way people build these AI applications. And what they wanted to do is create a chip that could be optimized for that Paddle environment. And so that's what they're doing with these Kunlun chips. So they've apparently been working on them for years. It's been very much of a secret effort even within Baidu. And that was the big news from their Create event yesterday, was the release of these chips. Two different ones. One for what's called inferencing, and then one for what's called training. Initially, it looks like they're probably going to be primarily in the cloud area, but eventually, of course, they've been working on autonomous cars. We may see these move to autonomous cars, although no firm announcements on that as of yet.
You know, when you look at the landscape for chip makers, for so long it's been dominated by the big names, like you said, Intel or Qualcomm or NVIDIA. Now you've got these tech companies themselves building out their own AI chip. How does this disrupt the landscape for some of the big players who've really been dominant for so long?
Well, the important thing to remember with a lot of these AI chips are they're essentially what are called accelerators. They're add-ons. So you're not going to replace your CPU or your GPU, but instead you're going to have additional chips that can work on these specific AI areas. So to be sure, it does change the dynamics of the environment, but what we're going to start to see is systems and servers that allow multiple different chips to work simultaneously, and they'll essentially sort of split things up and send one piece off to this chip, another piece off to that chip. But it certainly changes the dynamic of the environment, and it's going to make it very interesting moving forward.